Emmitt Smith here on behalf of Tequila Herradura here on the Rich Eisen
Show. Yeah, they need some of that before they go to vote. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll help influence in some kind of way.
That one, I got to be honest with you, that one's a little surprising to me.
Well, you know.
What's the cowboy hate? Is it what you think? It's cowboy hate?
That's all it is. I mean, it's the same way even in the Hall of Fame. I mean, come on. Drew Pearson supposed to be in the Hall of Fame.
How great was that?
Come on now.
But by the way, how great was that moment in Philadelphia at the draft?
Excellent moment. I think that propelled Philadelphia to where they are today. So they needed some inspiration, and Drew actually set it off the right way.
Now, one of your triplets, who I know very, very well because I work with him all the time, Michael Irvin, in that chair on Monday, saying that he, in a way, wants the Eagles to win because it would prevent the Patriots from having a second stint of 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, which would surpass
everybody.
It would surpass the 3 and 4. You're the only other team other than the Patriots to do it.
Yeah.
And they would be the first to do it twice, and thus maybe knocking the Cowboys down a peg. What do you think about that? That the Eagles could help the Cowboys' legacy? Your thoughts, Emmitt Smith?
Well, my thoughts are, sure, that's one aspect of it. That's not how I'm looking at it, though.
Nice.
I like the Eagles because, number one, I believe defenses win championships. And I think the Eagles is built inside out. I think the offensive line and the defensive line is extremely, extremely good, especially defensive front. Defensive front is unbelievable. I haven't seen their defensive front this good since the Buddy Ryan days with Jerome Brown and the rest.
No kidding.
Yeah, I haven't seen them play like that.
Okay.
These guys here are playing and have played solid football. In my opinion, they played the most consistent football out of all the teams in the National Football League this year, even with the loss of Carson Wentz and so forth. So defensively, this team is built for games like this.
So you think they are going to win this game, Emmitt Smith?
Yes, I do think they're going to win this game. I think that offensively, with the running game between Jahi and Blunt and the third guy that they actually have, and then Nick Foles. When I look at coaches, and I'm asking myself the question: are they making the right decisions? Are they making the right adjustments? And so when Wentz went down, the question was, can Nick Foles do it? Because everybody in their mind said Philadelphia's done, including myself. But then what I saw was the coaches made an adjustment. They adjusted the offense to Nick Foles' capabilities and started leveraging his abilities to do a number of different things with the ball, with the RPOs and everything else, which they already had. But Nick Foles is a better quarterback than most people want to give him credit for, because we all remember his days with Chip Kelly, which was not so good. And so when you move on, everybody have the tendency to think that you're not that guy. But when you have coaches, and sometimes you fit in the system, sometimes you don't. And it just didn't work out in that system. So people automatically assume that he can't play. And I think he can.
So Emmitt Smith here on the Rich Eisen Show. So many people have been coming here saying Eagles are this. You use the word solid to describe them. You're not the first one to just use the word solid, which I think is infused with a little bit of negativity because they're not championship quality. But you think that they're as good as the previous. You mentioned some pretty big names like Jerome Brown, Reggie White.
Yeah.
Okay, all that said. Everybody has said that stuff about them. And then say, well, there's Tom Brady. Now, I know you think that I'm such a Michigan homer because my guys beat your Gators to kick off the season.
Okay. Yeah.
See how he can't even – I can't even bring it up. I'm sorry. I won't even look at you.
You can bring it up.
Because it didn't, But all that said, I mean, you don't think Brady's a great equalizer here?
Oh, I know he is. There's no doubt about it. And here's the beautiful thing about what I love about Tom Brady and the New England Patriots is you take 16 years of body of work like Tom Brady has produced, but you also have to look at the 8 Super Bowls that he has participated in.
It's incredible.
Which is also absolutely incredible. And one would think naturally not to bet against a Tom Brady kind of guy. And when you say that, you have to think about the best quarterback to have ever played the game is Tom Brady, in my opinion, without a doubt. But I got to give a little bit of the credit I got to give the leeway over here to the Eagles and their defense. Again, I'm looking at the Eagles' defense and saying, man, I actually believe in this defense in a way that can really transform a game. And Brady with Jacksonville got some pressure. And this team here is going to come with just as much pressure, if not more pressure. And all around, offensively as well as defensively, special teams-wise, the Eagles is a much more solid team. And so when I see that, I'm like, pressure after pressure after pressure, knockdown after knockdown after knockdown against Brady, it can be tough. It can be tough. And he's not as a young Tom Brady as he once was. And so I'm giving the Eagles a nod. I love Tom Brady. Don't get me wrong. He's the best of the best.
But that defense doesn't have to scheme their way to him and to make him just maybe. And that Fletcher Cox is no joke.
At the end of the day,
he's incredible.
Yes,
and he can get the pressure up the middle, which is the problem that Brady, obviously, in his losses, that's the formula.
And that has been the formula. And so, but when I look at Brady and the Patriots and Belichick and Mr. Kraft, they have proven time and time again, Rich, this is what an excellent organization is supposed to look like. From a consistency standpoint and a systematic standpoint, they have produced 8 Super Bowl appearances in 16 years. That's the ability to have a short-term memory, but enjoy the moment, but yet get refocused and put all your energy towards the big prize, when that is creating something that has never been created before, and do things that others have never done before.
In the 3 minutes I have left with you, I definitely want to talk about your tequila, but what do you think the Cowboys need to do?
Need to get focused. I mean, really focus and quiet all the noise and get some of the business things that can be done right now, get it behind them and bring in a consensus, have the team start to buy into where the vision of the organization is really going, and spend that energy trying to build that chemistry that's required.
So who's not focused, though? When you say that get focused, that means somebody's
what
not yet focused.
What I mean is not have these distractions, not be worried about whether or not Dez Bryant is going to be a Cowboy or not, and whether or not his contract is going to be there and stuff like that, worrying about this and things that you shouldn't even have to be thinking about. I see it oftentimes happening with teams and organizations where, like the Steelers last year, dealing with Le'Veon Bell's contract and so forth and on and on. All of the different sidebar conversations that your teammates have to address when they shouldn't really have to deal with those type of things. I saw it happen with the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, when you're dealing with your defensive back, whether or not he's going to be there or not. And so just stuff that just messes with team chemistry. It kind of happened back in 92 or 93, back when I missed the first 2 games. For what was the purpose? What was the purpose? When I have proven that I earned the right to ask for a contract that should be X, Y, and Z. But going through that process affects how a team actually not only play, but their confidence level, because they don't have all of the tools in place. And so you remove all of these distractions, you keep everybody focused on the mission, and you start to work on buying into the system, and this is how we're going to do it. And we're going to do it professionally. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and Bob Kraft have done it better than most. And that's when I look at that organization, I say, this is a high-performance organization, period. They're very consistent about it. And every man that comes into that organization knows and have a level of expectation that they must meet. And they manage it on and off the field, too.
All right, last minute I have for you. Tell me about this tequila Herradura. Am I saying that?
Tequila Herradura is the best tequila in the entire world. I mean, the distillery process that they go through at the only hacienda that produces this tequila, or the real tequila that exists today, the true hacienda, that whole entire process of fermentation is amazing. They don't cut any corners, and they manage 20,000 acres of agave plants where they're fully matured. It takes about 7 years for them to fully get matured. Then they go and extract it and go through the whole entire process to create this beautiful tequila. And so when you think about Herradura, you have to think about excellence. You think about champions. You think about something that's pure, that when you go through it, they age it a little bit longer than most. They go beyond the standards to make sure that it's quality. And this is what this tequila is all about. It's about greatness.
All right. Check it out on Facebook at Herradura Tequila.
And drink responsibly.
Of course. Good. Good to see you, Emmitt.
You too,
Smith.
man.
Good to see you. Always good to see you. Let me know
sir.
when you're back in Los Angeles, will you please?
Will do.
Let's do it. That's at Emmitt Smith 22 on Twitter. I follow him there. 3-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Football Hall of Famer, and has a record nobody's ever going to break.
Never say never.
Oh, I'll say it. I don't think anybody's going to break that. Emmitt Smith here on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.